वंशी विभूषितकरान् नवनीर्दाभात् पीताम्बरा दरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Divine souls, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. You all are aware of the fact that we have started dealing with Bhakti Yoga, chapter 12. We went through mantra 1 to 4 and had started to deliberate on mantra 5. Let me recap. We had a gap of 1 week. Let me bring you all to the flow as we started from mantra 1. You all know mantra 1 is a question from Arjuna, and we keep understanding the question again and again. The question is very deep. We have deliberated on depth, but let me again say, Arjuna's question to Bhagavan is Tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Who are the best? Yoga vittama has been explained in many, many ways. And one of the ways is to who are the best experiencers of yoga. And we say yoga, it means union with Brahma, spiritual absorption, you can call it samadhi. Among those devotees who are your upasak, sakar upasak, and among those who are nirakar upasak. Between these two, those who worship the manifest and those who worship unmanifest, who are the best experiencers of yoga? And Bhagavan immediately replies, without any hesitation, straightway, Arjuna, those who worship me in manifest form, they are the best. But then, very soon, he doesn't hesitate to bring into picture those unmanifest, abhyakta, akshara, those who are achintya, achala, all those 7 pointers which you mentioned in the earlier talks, they are also te prapnuvanti mameva. They are also entitled to attain me alone. But then Bhagavan gives the reason why he first told us that those who worship me in manifest form, they are the best. And we were dealing with this verse, mantra 5. Kleshodhikatarastesam avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkam dehavad virvapyate. He gives reason that the trials and tribulations are greater. The hardships are greater for those who set mind on unmanifest as compared to those who put their mind or worship me in the manifest form. Because embodied beings who proceed on to have view of understanding of unmanifest, it is path is very difficult, very painful, very hard. So we talked about the path, we talked about the goal, and all those things last 2 weeks back. And we emphasize on this word, Deha Vadvir. Why it is difficult for Deha Vadvir? Why Klesha and Dukkha is difficult for him? We talked about that. But let me just put explanation of this word Klesha, because this Klesha word appears in Patanjali Yoga Shastra, and he talks of Pancha Klesha. People who are Deha Vadvir, they are embodied, for whom the body takes the importance. For him, what is the worst thing is ignorance, avidya. He is not understanding that the body which he is having is temporary, is just destructible. All those uncertainties are associated with the body. That ignorance brings them into all other 5 klesha: asmita, raga, dvesa, abhinivesa. I will not discuss all these, but just to mention that this pancha klesha is associated with the body. We go through I-ness and minus. We have attachment. We have aversion. We like and dislike. And worst of all the time, we are fearful about this, losing the body getting lost, fear of death all the time. So that is the question. That was the question about Pancha Klesha. But then Bhagavan says that it is painful, it is hard, it's tormenting. But how much hard? How difficult it is? How painful it is? In Kathopanishad, Guru tells his disciple, even before starting his Guru Siksha, he says, look boys, Churasya dhara nisitha duratyaya durgam patah tat kavayo padanti uttishtat jagrata prapya varannibodhata. This is the instruction which the Guru gives to his students. Look, Churasya dhara. It is very hard, very sharp edge, razor-like. The path which you are following, it is very sharp-edged. And it is like a razor, will cut asunder. So the wise say it is hard to treat. Durangam patha tata kavayo badanti. Difficult to cross, very hard to cross. Cross what? To reach that path, to even follow that path, to be able to reach that destination of Nirakara Brahma, it is Shurasya dhara. It is as sharp as that of the sharp razor. So, Uttishthata, Jagrata, arise, awake, and approach the great, that is his teachers, gurus, rishis and dharmatmas, and learn from them. Swami Vivekananda ji picked up this a slogan based on this teaching from Kathopanishad, and he had his slogan, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. This famous saying from Swami Vivekananda, which all very well know. Now, what about those who are Sakar Upasak? That was the difficult for those who are Nirakar Upasak, those who follow that path where you are talking unmanifest. But those who are dedicated to the manifest God, Lord manifest, for them, Narad Bhakti Sutra says very clear, Phala Rupatvat. that those Sakar Upasak, for them, the bhakti is both the means and also the end. It is also sadhana or sadhya, upaya, upeya. It is bhakti always. Starting to the end, it is bhakti, bhakti and bhakti. Phala, roop, starting and the phala and roop, everything all goes with the devotion, with bhakti. Everything is continued. It goes in rhythmical way from starting to the end. And that what Lord Sri Krishna explains to us in great detail in the mantra from 6 to 12. We will go into detail subsequently, one after another. Then from 13 to 19, Bhagavan talks about those 39 attributes of bhakta, which all you are all very well aware of. And mantra 20 is the summary of the chapter. But let us go into the nitty-gritty of this devotion. What is devotion? What we understand by devotion? Let us go through some of them. We all know about Navadha Bhakti. We know these 9 kinds of devotion Bhagavan has talked about. And it had been mentioned in Satyuga and also in Treta. In Satyuga, it was Prahlad who, in answer to his father's question, तुमने विद्यालय जाकर क्या सीखा? What have you learned so far? I have sent you to the Vidyalaya, to Pathsala, and what have you learned? That was the question Hiranyakashipu asks his son Prahlad. And Prahlad starts to talk about Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Arshanam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakyamatmanivedanam. This is very familiar sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, and you all know about these. But this is the teaching which Prahlad got while he was in the womb of her mother, while her mother was in the ashram of Narada. Kayadhu was in the ashram of Narada Muni, and there Narada Muni was giving discourses which Prahlad heard while in the womb of her mother. And there he remembered all those teachings. And when his father asked him, he came up with this, which surprised his father, of course. And then all the story goes, you know that. The important thing is that these are the ways and means of worshipping Bhagavan. You can Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Arjanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakhya, Atmanivedanam, and the names of those bhakta who dedicated themselves and reached Bhagavan through means of all these. To भक्ति के जो मार्ग हैं, ये ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि everybody has within himself the trace of bhakti within him. And in his or her own way, they have the ability to approach Bhagavan. They can listen, they can recite, they can remember, they can do the service, and abandon all those things. And each one of these practices are important, very important. Because this is the start. If you do not go to the temple, you would not follow your parents and go to the temple and have a visual impression of idols, you may not get that attraction which you will read. You just go from the reading. So the visual and audio And all these are means for bhakta to get attracted. And these are all very important and must be practiced. One may not have the concept in the mind unless he has heard something, unless he has seen something. So seeing and hearing and getting all those sense organs and even karmendriya involved. You go and pluck flower. When you go and pluck flower, you remember God. That somebody told me, भगवान के पूजा के लिए फूल तोड़ना है. भगवान के लिए पूजा के लिए फूल तोड़ना है. इतने में ही भक्ति का उद्भव होना शुरू होता है, भक्ति का आरंभ होना शुरू होता है. आप फूल जब तोड़ते हो, मुझे अपना अनुभव याद है, कैसे माँ के लिए मैं फूल और बेलपत्र तोड़ लाता था. जो माँ कहती थी, जा बेटा फूल तोड़ के लाओ, तो उस समय तो था कि माँ का आज्ञा पालन करना है. बट धीरे धीरे उन बेल पत्रों से, उस पर राम राम लिखने से धीरे धीरे एक ऐसा अट्रैक्शन भगवान के प्रति होने लगता है लोगों को, और जो भी भक्त होते हैं उनको. सो ये सब क्रियाएं जो सेंस ऑर्गन से और कर्मेंद्रियां से होती हैं, all those things add on to the value of that bhakti which is maybe dormant in you, and they start to gradually emerge. And from there on to that supreme devotion, we will come to that in a minute. These are the means, these are the ways to apply to your sense organs and start to think about Bhagavan and get the devotion developed. यही नवधा भक्ति भगवान राम ने माता साहब सबरी को दिया था. जब सबरी ने कहा, हे भगवान, मैं तो नीच हूं, मैं अधम हूं, मंद बुद्धि है हमारे पास, मैं किस प्रकार आपकी पूजा करूं, किस प्रकार आपकी वंदना करूं, मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है. जब सबरी ने जब भगवान राम से कहा, तो भगवान राम उन्हें नवधा भक्ति के बारे में बताते हैं और कहते हैं कि सोई अतिशय प्रिय भामिनी मोरे, सकल प्रकार भगति दृढ़ तोरे. मैं 9 प्रकार की भक्ति तुम्हें बताया हूं, तुम्हें 9 के 9 भक्ति तुम्हें गाढ़ दृढ़ रूप से तुम्हें समाया हुआ है. जोगी वृंद, महात्मा, संत, ऋषि सब जितने हैं, उनके लिए दुर्लभ है गति, वो तुम्हारे लिए सुलभ हो गई है. That kind of Navadha Bhakti, Bhagwan Ram told to Sabari. In that, the first thing he says, Prathama Bhagati Santanakar Sangha. Satsang, the importance of satsang has been considered as number 1 by Bhagavan. And Dusari Rati Mama Katha Prasanga. If you hear about me, सत्संग में जा करके, सत्संग में कथा सुनकर, उनकी बातों को समझकर तुम्हें रति हो जाएगी मुझ में, मेरे में तुम रत हो जाओगे, क्योंकि तब सुनोगे, भक्ति तुम में उत्पन्न होगी. सो डिवाइन सोल्स, these are the words of Bhagwan, who tells us that the importance of satsanga, listening to the katha, listening to the teachings, and all those talks about Bhagwan, which brings the value of satsanga into an individual. Now, when we talk of bhakti, let us divide into 2 different ways, 2 categories. The categories are lower categories and higher categories. Lower categories you are very familiar with, apara bhakti, and higher is what's called para bhakti. What is the difference between apara bhakti and para bhakti? Where the yogi may focus on an object or image as a focal point of worship. Now, when we talk of immature, that means at that time, yogi may not, or the sadhaka may not have the concept of the supreme understanding about Bhagwan, but he knows that he has to approach him through the object or the image that in front of him. वो भजन करता है, कीर्तन करता है, पूजा करता है, व्रत करता है, तीर्थाटन करता है, नदी में स्नान करता है. All these things, they perform the rituals which are called lower bhakti, apara bhakti, immature bhakti. But then in performing all those actions, one point is always associated with each and every activity, and that is focus on God. भगवान का कीर्तन करता है, भगवान की पूजा करता है, वो कीर्तन करता है, भजन करता है, व्रत करता है. Although these actions may not be rated very highly in so far the practice of devotion is concerned, but simply because he's performing all these actions with some soch on Bhagwan, what he's performing is what is called सात्विक कर्म. वो कर्म जो है सात्विक की ओर ले आता है. At least till such time, जब कीर्तन हम करते हैं, भजन करते हैं, पूजा में जाते हैं, तो उसमें जो एनवायरनमेंट रहता है, उसमें आप you don't think of robbery, you don't think of cheating, you don't think of, if you are thinking that time, then those activities are null and void. But if you are involving yourself in bhajan, kirtan, puja, स्नान, तीर्थाटन, सोचते हैं तीर्थ में जाना है, you start working towards it, ये सामान लेना है, वो लेना है, all the time thinking कि भगवान के दरवाजे पर जाना है, भगवान के दर पर जाना है, भगवान का वहां पर दर्शन करना है. Whatever thinking he has got, राम मंदिर, भगवान राम मंदिर को जाना है, तो that स्नान करने जाना है. अभी कुंभ होने जा रहा है, अभी इलाहाबाद में बहुत करोड़ों लोग वहां जाएंगे. क्यों जाएंगे वहां? करोड़ों लोगों का वहां का क्या आधार है? यही आधार है. वो स्नान तो कहीं भी कर सकते हैं, बल्कि you may find more purified water in your room, in your bathroom, but लोग सोच कर जाते हैं तीर्थ करने जा रहे हैं, भगवान का वहां त्रिवेणी है, वहां भगवान गंगा, हमारे पाप सब नष्ट हो जाएंगे. All these thoughts you start developing within yourself, and these thoughts bring into bhakti within yourself. Although this bhakti is not para bhakti, this is apara bhakti, lower bhakti, immature bhakti, yes. But millions of people in whole world, millions of them, they are involved in this kind of bhakti, para bhakti. But from these millions, मनुष्यानाम सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतत सिद्ध है. ये तो यत्न तो करते हैं ना, ये प्रयास तो करते हैं ना, ये तो भगवान की ओर का धारणा एक तो बदलती है. कितने लोग होते हैं जो ये भी नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन जो करते हैं उनमें ही तो कश्चित् अद्वैतता सिद्धानाम कश्चिन् माम वेत्ति तत्वतः, उनमें ही जो चल पड़ते हैं भगवान की ओर, though they are performing what is called immature bhakti, lower bhakti, apara bhakti, but they as destination उनका भगवान है. भगवान को जिस तरह भी समझते हो, साकार समझते हो, दयावान समझते हो, रक्षा करने वाले समझते हो, जो हर तरह की भावना उसमें पूरा करने, इच्छा पूरा करने की बात होती हो, whatever may be, but they are again, the center point is focus on Bhagwan. That भगवान के नियत के निमित्त होकर के ही वो सब काम करते हैं. So they are also of importance and should not be ignored. If somebody is practicing all these things, they should be encouraged. वही तो करते करते फिर भगवान लगन लग जाती है, और जब लगन लग जाती है, then वो सब छूट जाता है. Those bhajan, kirtan, puja, तीर्थाटन, they are left behind. They go into the what's called para bhakti. Now अपरा भक्ति भी दो प्रकार के हैं. There are two kinds of अपरा भक्ति. One is guna bhakti and other is mukhya bhakti. When we take guna bhakti, these are of rajasic type. They are associated with, they are artha, jigyasu, arthati. And those who are mukhya bhakti, they are associated with sattvic guna. We will talk about this a bit. We cannot forget this mantra 16 of chapter 7, very important. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukrito arjuna arto jigyasu arthati Jnani cha bharatar sabha. Bhagavan says, Arjun, among the pious people, Sukritnor, those who are pious people, among those there are of four kinds. There are of four kinds. And they engage in my devotion. Chaturvidha bhajante mam. They are engaged in my devotion. And who are those? The distressed. Artho, Jigyasu, the seekers of knowledge, Arthati, seekers of wealth, and Jnani, man of knowledge. Mark the word seekers. Those who are, of course, Artha is afflicted. They want to fulfill desire. They want to get rid of certain distress, certain problems, some issues. They want to have fulfillment of desire, and classical among them are Draupadi and Gajendra. You all know the story. Then these are the two groups who are the seekers of knowledge, seeker of wealth. As long as you are seeker, you are Rajasic. You want to gain something. You want to gain knowledge. You hear the Arthati, the seeker of wealth. And among them are Uddhav, Muchkund, Rajanak. The Arthati, Sugriva, Vibhishan, and Upamanyu, they are the seekers of wealth. Then Jnani, the men of knowledge, they are free from desire. Narad, Prahlad, and Sukadevji are mentioned there. I will not go in detail there. Important thing here is that para bhakti. What is para bhakti? This para bhakti is distinctly higher than all the immature or apara bhakti. This is supreme bhakti, the highest level of bhakti. In this stage, Bhagavan or Bhakt mein no difference. They became same. They are a situation where Bhagavan and Bhakta, Bhakta feels that the existence of Bhagavan everywhere, where the yogi sees and worships God everywhere and experiences the divine as manifested in the whole universe. Everywhere in the universe is nothing but Bhagavan. They are able to express their love and devotion through every action and encounter their life. It is very subtle, abstract, of course, to comprehend, but the point is, you mam pasyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pasyati. That devotion where bhakta feels the presence of Bhagavan everywhere. Sarvatah panipadam tat, sarvato chisiro mukham, सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमा वृत्त तिष्ठति. वो जहीं देखता है वहीं भगवान को देखता है. पैर कहीं है तो सोचता सब भगवान का ही पैर है. आंखें हैं तो सब भगवान के ही आंखें हैं. सुनने का जो कान है, सब जगह भगवान आवृत है, समाये हुए हैं. सब जगह सब भगवान ही भगवान है. चहुं दिस आरती, चहुं दिस पूजा, चहुं दिस राम और नहीं दूजा. Tulsidas ji कहते हैं. So he is that level of bhakti where the devotee feels the presence of Bhagavan in each and every item what he comes across. That is a state of supreme realization. That is a state of Advaita Bhav. That Dvaita Bhav वहां नहीं रह जाता है. भगवान और भक्त एक हो जाते हैं. But that is a state which is reached after a lot of तपस्या. जो योगी तपस्या करके भगवान के चरणों में अपने को समर्पित कर देता है, एंड हर जगह भगवान ही भगवान देखता है, दैट भक्त इज अटेन्ड सुप्रीम लेवल ऑफ मैच्योर भक्ति, परा भक्ति. विल कंटिन्यू फर्दर. जय श्री कृष्ण, जय गुरुदेव.